why your cozy home might be slowly harming your cat. Last winter, a beloved family cat named Whiskers was hurriedly taken to an emergency veterinary clinic at 2 in the morning. His owner, a woman named Sarah, had been completely unaware that anything was amiss until she discovered him trembling violently in the corner of her living room. The diagnosis came as a shock: mild hypothermia. But here is the truly alarming part. This didn't happen outside in the snow. It happened right inside her house. The thermostat on the wall read a comfortable 68 degrees. To Sarah, everything felt perfectly normal, yet Whiskers was suffering deeply, and she had no idea until it was nearly too disastrous. Today, we are uncovering 7 cold weather mistakes that cause your cat to suffer without you even realizing it. And here is a statistic that might startle you. Research indicates that over 60% of well-meaning cat owners unknowingly commit at least 3 of these specific errors every single winter season. These aren't dramatic, obvious acts of neglect. They are subtle, silent oversights happening right now in homes that look exactly like yours. But before we plunge into these critical mistakes, let me welcome you properly. Welcome to Meowrange, our cozy, podcast-style channel where we share fascinating facts, heartwarming stories, and surprising insights about our beloved cats. Think of us as your fireside chat companion, where every episode brings you a little closer to understanding the mysterious and wonderful world of felines. Today, we are diving into something absolutely crucial for your cat's winter well-being. Now, here's what makes this topic so vital. One of these 7 mistakes involves something you likely do every single day, thinking you are actually helping your cat stay comfortable. And your cat? They are suffering in silence because, as we know, that is exactly what cats do. Before we go any further, I need you to do something. Not for me, and not for this channel, but for your cat. Please hit that subscribe button and leave a like on this video. Why do I ask this? Because the more people who engage with this information, the fewer cats will have to suffer needlessly this winter. You subscribing means YouTube will share this video with more cat owners who desperately need this knowledge. It is not about algorithms. It is about protecting cats. So go ahead, subscribe, and like this video. Your cat will thank you for it. The science of feline cold tolerance. Let's talk about why this matters so much. Cats are mysterious creatures, aren't they? They seem so independent, so incredibly self-sufficient. But here is what most people fail to realize. When it comes to cold weather, cats are far more vulnerable than we give them credit for. Unlike their wild ancestors, who developed thick winter coats and rugged survival instincts for harsh climates, our domestic cats have been selectively bred for thousands of years to live in temperature-controlled environments. They have actually lost many of those robust cold weather adaptations. The science behind feline thermoregulation is fascinating. Cats maintain a core body temperature between 100.5 degrees Fahrenheit and 102.5 degrees Fahrenheit, which is significantly higher than ours. To maintain that internal temperature without struggling, they need an ambient environment that falls within what veterinarians call the thermoneutral zone. For most cats, that zone is between 86 degrees Fahrenheit and 97 degrees Fahrenheit, significantly warmer than what we humans find comfortable. However, not all cats are created equal when it comes to cold tolerance. Short-haired breeds like the Siamese and Cornish Rex, and especially hairless breeds like the Sphinx, are incredibly sensitive to temperature drops. Long-haired breeds like Persians and Maine Coons have better natural insulation, but even they aren't immune to the problems we are about to discuss. Age matters tremendously, too. Kittens under 6 months old haven't fully developed their temperature regulation systems yet. Senior cats, especially those over 10 years old, lose some of their ability to regulate body temperature effectively. Their metabolism slows down, and they become much more sensitive to environmental changes. Here is what breaks my heart. Your cat cannot tell you when they are cold. They can't look at you and say, "Hey, I'm uncomfortable here." Instead, they do what their ancient instincts tell them to do. They hide it. In the wild, showing weakness makes you prey. That instinct doesn't disappear just because your cat lives in a cozy home. So what are these 7 mistakes? We are talking about temperature misconceptions, hidden drafts in places you would never suspect, water-related issues that affect your cat's entire system, air quality problems from the very devices meant to keep you warm, surfaces that silently cause pain, feeding mistakes that reduce nutrient absorption, And a controversial seventh mistake that contradicts what many websites tell you about cat care. Mistake number 1. The temperature trap. Let's start with mistake number 1. The temperature trap. You set your thermostat to 68 degrees or perhaps 70 degrees. It feels perfectly comfortable to you. You are wearing a sweater, maybe some cozy socks, and you feel fine. So, your cat must be fine too, right? Wrong. The truth is that what feels comfortable to you is not necessarily comfortable for your cat. Most homes are kept between 68 degrees Fahrenheit and 72 degrees Fahrenheit during the winter. That is well below the range where your cat can maintain body temperature without expending extra metabolic energy. Studies in veterinary medicine have shown that cats are most comfortable in environments between 75 degrees Fahrenheit and 80 degrees Fahrenheit. That is a significant difference. But it is not just about the number on the thermostat. It is about the microclimates within your home. That 72-degree reading? It is measuring the temperature at one specific location, usually in a hallway. The spot where your cat actually sleeps might be several degrees cooler, especially if it is near an exterior wall or a window. Watch for these subtle signs that your cat is too cold. Are they constantly seeking artificial warm spots, like sitting on top of your laptop or the cable box? Are they sleeping curled up in impossibly tight, compact balls? Do they seem generally less active than usual? These are your cat's ways of telling you they are uncomfortable. Documented cases show that chronic exposure to temperatures below a cat's comfort zone can lead to tangible health issues. Their immune system becomes less efficient, making them more susceptible to respiratory infections. Their metabolism has to work over time, which can lead to weight loss or increased appetite without weight gain. Senior cats with arthritis experience more pain when cold, though they won't necessarily show obvious signs of limping. The solution isn't necessarily cranking up your central heat to tropical levels. It is about creating warm microclimates for your cat. Think heated beds, thermal blankets in their favorite spots, or cozy enclosed cat beds placed away from exterior walls. One cat owner, Maria, noticed her 8-year-old tabby, Oliver, had become increasingly lethargic during the winter. She assumed he was just aging. But after setting up a simple heated pad in his favorite sleeping spot, she watched him transform back into the playful cat he had been during the warmer months. It wasn't age. It was the temperature. Mistake number 2, the invisible cold zones. Adjusting your home's temperature is just the beginning, because the second mistake is happening in 8 out of every 10 homes right this very moment. It involves the place where your cat spends most of their day, that spot you consider the safest, most comfortable area in your entire house. We are talking about windows and the invisible drafts that surround them. Yes, even closed windows can be a serious problem for your cat. I know what you are thinking, but my windows are closed. How could they possibly be an issue? Here is the reality. Windows are thermal weak points in your home's envelope. Even when shut tight, they transfer cold from the outside, creating what building scientists call cold zones that extend several feet into your room. Let me explain the science. Glass conducts temperature much more efficiently than insulated walls. When it is 30 degrees Fahrenheit outside and 70 degrees Fahrenheit inside, that window pane becomes a radiator of cold. The air immediately next to the glass drops in temperature, becomes denser, and sinks downward, creating a constant flow of cold air along the floor. This is called a convection current, and it is happening right now at every window in your home. Research on indoor climates shows that these cold zones can be 3 to 5 degrees Celsius lower than the rest of the room. Your cat, being smaller and closer to the ground, experiences these temperature drops much more intensely than you do. Studies have documented that cats actively avoid areas where there is a temperature difference of more than 3 to 5 degrees from their preferred range. But here is the problem. Their favorite sunny window spot during the summer becomes a cold trap during the winter. Watch your cat's behavior carefully. Does your cat avoid certain rooms during the winter? Do they refuse to sleep in spots they loved during the warmer months? These aren't random preferences. Your cat is mapping out the warm and cold zones in your home and telling you, through their choices, where the problems are. The health consequences are real. Veterinary data shows a significant increase in upper respiratory infections during winter months. The constant temperature fluctuation stresses their immune system, making them more vulnerable to viruses and bacteria they would normally fight off easily. The symptoms can be subtle: occasional sneezing, slightly watery eyes, reduced grooming, or just seeming less energetic. Many owners assume their cat has caught a cold, not realizing the environment itself is the culprit. The solutions: 1. Check your window seals. Even small gaps create significant drafts. Weather stripping is inexpensive and makes an enormous difference. 2. Reposition furniture. Move your cat's beds and trees at least 3 feet away from windows and exterior walls. 3. Use thermal curtains. Close them at night to create an insulating barrier, but open them during sunny days to let in heat. One woman named Jennifer had a Russian blue, Luna, who developed recurring respiratory issues every winter for 3 years. Multiple vet visits and medications never permanently solved it. Then, Jennifer installed thermal curtains and moved Luna's bed away from the window. That winter, no respiratory issues. Not one. The solution wasn't medical. It was environmental. Mistake number 3, the hydration hazard. Protecting your cat from drafts is just the first step, because there is another mistake happening right now that is even more insidious. This affects your cat's entire system, from kidneys to the urinary tract, and it starts with something as simple as their water bowl. Here is what surprised me. Cats actually drink less water in the winter, significantly less. And one of the main reasons is that the water is simply too cold. Think about your own behavior. On a freezing winter morning, do you reach for a glass of ice-cold water, or do you prefer something closer to room temperature? Your cat has the same preference, but they cannot adjust the tap themselves. Cold water sitting in a bowl near a cold floor can be anywhere from 45 degrees Fahrenheit to 55 degrees Fahrenheit. That is not just unpleasant. It is actively discouraging your cat from staying hydrated. Cats are already notorious for not drinking enough water, a trait inherited from their desert-dwelling ancestors. Add cold water to the equation, and you have created a perfect storm for dehydration. Dehydration in cats leads directly to serious health problems, particularly urinary and kidney issues. Veterinary hospitals report a noticeable increase in cases of urinary tract infections, bladder crystals, and kidney disease flare-ups during winter months. Reduced water intake is a major contributor. The ideal water temperature for cats? Room temperature, around 68 degrees Fahrenheit to 72 degrees Fahrenheit. Some cats even prefer it slightly warmer. How to spot dehydration. Check skin elasticity. Gently pull up the skin between their shoulder blades. In a well-hydrated cat, it should snap back immediately. If it stays tinted or returns slowly, your cat is dehydrated. Check their gums. They should be wet and slippery, not dry or sticky. Watch their energy. Dehydrated cats become lethargic. The solutions: 1. Place multiple water stations throughout your home, especially in warmer areas. 2. Consider a cat water fountain with a gentle warming feature. The movement appeals to cats, and the slight warming encourages drinking. 3. Add water to wet food. This is one of the easiest ways to increase hydration. There is a story about a cat named Smokey. His owner, Robert, noticed Smokey making frequent trips to the litter box with obvious discomfort. The vet diagnosed bladder crystals, a painful condition caused by concentrated urine. Robert started warming Smokey's water slightly and adding extra water to his food. Within weeks, Smokey's symptoms improved dramatically. 6 months later, a follow-up showed no crystals. Something as simple as water temperature made all the difference. Have you noticed any of these issues with your own cat? Drop a comment below and tell me, does your cat drink less water in winter? I read every single comment and I will respond to your questions. Mistake number 4, the humidity crisis. These first 3 mistakes, drafts, temperature, and cold water, might seem small, but their combined impact is substantial. However, what we are about to discuss next is the mistake that worries me most. This next one is so common that even veterinarians have admitted to making it with their own cats. It involves something you use every single day during winter, something that seems completely harmless, even beneficial. But what it is actually doing to your cat's respiratory system is something most people never discover until symptoms appear. Before we reveal that, you need to understand why cats hide their respiratory symptoms so effectively. The answer lies in their survival instincts. In the wild, showing weakness means becoming prey. A cat that appears sick or vulnerable is a target. This survival instinct is hardwired into every domestic cat. So, when your cat is uncomfortable, cold, or in pain, they instinctively mask it. They suffer silently, and by the time you notice something is wrong, the problem has often been building for weeks. This brings us to the mistake involving air quality, specifically, the dry air created by heating systems. When you turn on your heating system, something invisible happens. The relative humidity plummets. Heating systems don't add moisture. They simply warm the air. And since warm air holds more moisture than cold air, the existing moisture gets spread thinner, creating a dramatically drier environment. Here are the numbers. The ideal humidity range for cats is between 40% and 60%. Most heated homes during winter drop to between 10% and 30% relative humidity. That is desert-level dryness. Why does this matter? Cats have delicate mucous membranes lining their nasal passages, throat, and lungs. These membranes need to stay moist to function properly. They trap dust, allergens, bacteria, and viruses. They are your cat's first line of defense against illness. When the air becomes too dry, these membranes dry out. They crack microscopically, becoming irritated and inflamed. Suddenly, they can't do their job anymore, and your cat becomes vulnerable to respiratory infections they would normally fight off. Dry air affects more than just respiratory health. It dries out your cat's skin, leading to itchiness and excessive grooming. It irritates their eyes. And for cats with asthma, which affects approximately 1 to 5% of cats according to veterinary research, dry air can trigger severe attacks. Signs your cat is suffering: excessive licking or grooming, especially of paws and flanks. Frequent sneezing without other illness signs. Eyes that seem slightly watery or irritated. Serious warning: breathing through their mouth. Cats should always breathe through their nose. If you see your cat breathing with their mouth open when they aren't hot or stressed, that is a veterinary emergency. The solutions: 1. Invest in a hygrometer to measure humidity. Target that 40 to 60% range. 2. Use humidifiers strategically in rooms where your cat spends the most time. 3. Add cat-safe plants like spider plants or Boston ferns, which naturally increase humidity. 4. Keep cats away from direct heat. Maintain a safe distance from space heaters, radiators, and heat vents. Cats love warmth, so they will often position themselves right next to these sources, not realizing they are being exposed to the driest, most irritating air in your home. I want to share a story about Bella, a beautiful Siamese who started having what her owner, Michelle, thought were frequent hairballs. Bella would crouch down, make that distinctive hacking sound, but nothing would come up. Michelle tried different foods, hairball remedies, and more brushing. Nothing helped. Finally, the vet listened to Bella's lungs and heard the wheezing of feline asthma. The trigger? The extremely dry air from Michelle's heating system. Michelle got a humidifier, kept the humidity at 50%, and Bella's hairballs disappeared completely. Mistake number 5. The cold floor factor. Now, dry air attacks your cat from the inside. But there is another winter problem attacking them from below, and this one causes chronic pain that your cat will never show you directly. We are talking about cold surfaces and what they do to your cat's joints. Think about where your cat walks, sits, and sleeps. Hardwood floors, tile, laminate. These surfaces feel cold to your bare feet. Now, imagine you are a small animal with your entire body much closer to these surfaces. For cats with arthritis, which affects an estimated 90% of cats over 12 years old according to veterinary studies, that cold is causing genuine pain. Cold temperatures cause joints to stiffen. The synovial fluid that lubricates joints becomes more viscous and less effective. And here is what makes this particularly insidious. Cats with arthritis do not limp like dogs do. They simply move less. Most owners interpret this as normal aging, but it is not just age. It is pain. It is cold surfaces making existing joint problems exponentially worse. Behavioral signs: reluctance to jump onto furniture, moving more slowly in the morning, changes in sleeping position, preferring elevated surfaces, decreased grooming. Large breeds like Maine Coons and Ragdolls are particularly susceptible, but even young, healthy cats can experience discomfort. The solutions: create warm, insulated spaces. Thermal pet beds with orthopedic support are invaluable. Heated pet pads provide consistent, gentle warmth. Place thick blankets on favorite resting spots, and consider adding ramps or steps to help cats access elevated areas without jumping. There is a story I love about Maximus, a 13-year-old Maine Coon who had essentially stopped interacting with his family. He spent entire days on the couch, barely moving. His owners thought they were watching him decline in his final months. But his veterinarian suspected arthritis exacerbated by environmental factors. They set up heated orthopedic beds, added ramps to his favorite perches, and placed thick rugs over the cold floors. Within 2 weeks, Maximus was moving around again. Within a month, he was playing with toys. The decline wasn't inevitable. It was preventable. Mistake number 6, the feeding flaw. 5 mistakes down, and you are already equipped with knowledge that could dramatically improve your cat's winter experience. The final 2 mistakes involve something even more fundamental. One involves your cat's food, but with a twist most people never consider. Let me set the stage with something you probably do every single day without thinking twice. You open your refrigerator, take out your cat's wet food, scoop it into their bowl, and set it down. Your cat walks over, sniffs it, and walks away. You assume they are just being picky. Maybe they don't like that flavor anymore. But what if I told you the problem isn't the food itself? It's the temperature. Here is the revelation. Cats have a much stronger preference for food temperature than we ever realized. And serving cold food straight from the refrigerator isn't just unappetizing. It is actually affecting their digestion and nutritional absorption. Let me explain the science. Cats in the wild eat freshly caught prey, which means their food is at body temperature, approximately 100 degrees Fahrenheit to 102 degrees Fahrenheit. Their entire digestive system evolved to process food at this temperature. Their digestive enzymes work most efficiently when food is warm. Furthermore, their sense of smell, crucial for appetite, is significantly enhanced when food releases aromatic compounds, which happens much more readily with warm food. When you serve food straight from the refrigerator, it is typically around 35 degrees Fahrenheit to 40 degrees Fahrenheit. That is a massive difference from what your cat's biology expects. Cold food releases fewer aromatic compounds. It can shock the digestive system, potentially leading to discomfort, slower digestion, and sometimes vomiting. Studies show that cats consistently prefer food served at room temperature or slightly warmer, between 86 degrees Fahrenheit and 100 degrees Fahrenheit. This isn't just preference. It's rooted in their physiology. During winter, this problem becomes more pronounced. Cats naturally need more calories in colder months to maintain body temperature. But if their food is cold and unappetizing, they eat less. You might notice your cat losing weight during winter or becoming pickier. The solution: let refrigerated food sit at room temperature for 15 to 20 minutes before serving. Alternatively, warm it slightly by placing the container in warm water or microwave it for just 5 to 10 seconds, stirring thoroughly to eliminate hot spots and testing the temperature with your finger. You want it warm, not hot. There is a story about a cat named Oliver who had become increasingly difficult to feed over several winters. His owner, David, tried every premium food brand. Oliver would eat a bite or two and walk away. Then David started warming Oliver's food to about 95 degrees before serving. The transformation was immediate. Oliver finished every meal. He gained back the weight he had lost. It wasn't about the food quality. It was about the temperature. Mistake number 7, the myth of independence. 6 mistakes down, 1 more to go. And this final one challenges a fundamental belief about cats. We have been told repeatedly that cats are independent, self-sufficient animals. They can handle themselves. Leave them home alone with enough food and water, and they will be fine. Right? Wrong. At least, not during winter in certain situations. Here is the truth. Domestic cats have lost many survival adaptations their wild ancestors possessed. They depend on us far more than the popular narrative suggests, particularly when maintaining safe body temperature in cold conditions. The myth of extreme feline self-sufficiency has led to dangerous situations. Cats left alone during winter, especially during extended absences, can face serious risks. I am not talking about running to the grocery store. I am talking about day-long absences when heating systems are turned down to save money, weekend trips where homes are left cold, or worse, power outages during winter storms. Cats experiencing thermal stress can develop hypothermia in 24 to 48 hours depending on the severity and the cat's age and health. Senior cats, young kittens, cats with health conditions, and hairless or short-haired breeds are particularly vulnerable. I am not trying to scare you. but I am asking you to think carefully about your cat's winter safety during absences. If you are leaving for work and your heating maintains a reasonable temperature, your cat is fine. But if you are traveling for days and turning the heat down to 50 or 60 degrees, that is potentially problematic. If there is any chance of a power outage during a winter storm and you won't be home, that is a serious risk. The solutions: invest in a programmable thermostat that maintains safe temperatures. Consider pet sitters or neighbors who can check daily. Install cameras with temperature monitoring. Have self-heating cat beds as backup. Most importantly, have an emergency plan. So let me ask, have you thought about your winter emergency plan? Share your strategies in the comments. Conclusion: empowering you and your cat. Let's bring this all together. 7 mistakes. 7 opportunities to dramatically improve your cat's winter experience. 1. Temperature misconceptions leaving cats chronically cold. 2. Hidden drafts creating cold zones. 3. Cold water discouraging hydration. 4. Dry air damaging respiratory health. 5. Cold surfaces causing joint pain. 6. Cold food reducing appetite. 7. The dangerous assumption that cats can handle extreme cold independently. Small mistakes with big consequences. But here is the empowering truth. Now you know, and knowledge gives you the power to change everything for your cat this winter. You are not a bad cat owner for having made these mistakes. Most of us were never taught this. The important thing is what you do now. These aren't expensive or complicated fixes. A hygrometer costs less than $10. Warming your cat's food takes 2 minutes. Moving a cat bed costs nothing. These are simple adjustments that create profound improvements. Winter can be a cozy, comfortable season for your cat. With heated beds in the right locations, proper humidity, fresh room temperature water, and your awareness, your cat can thrive during the coldest months. Your cat depends on you completely. They trust you to keep them safe, comfortable, and healthy. They can't research cat care. They can't adjust the thermostat or move their bed. They need you to notice, to care, and to act. And now you can. You are equipped with information most cat owners never learn. Use it. Share it. If you found this valuable, subscribe to Meowrange so you never miss insights that could improve your cat's life. Share this video with other cat owners. Leave a comment telling me which mistakes you identified in your home. I read every comment and respond to your questions. Next time, we are exploring the mysterious reasons why cats suddenly sprint around the house at night, and the science will surprise you. Until then, keep your kitties cozy, warm, and loved. Your cat is counting on you, and now you are equipped to never let them down. Thank you for being the kind of cat owner who cares enough to learn and give your feline companion the best life possible.